Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'll be talking about how credit card debt keeps you poor and how they're designed to do exactly that. And I know there's a lot of channels on YouTube that say, get a credit card. You can make a lot of money from the reward. You can save a lot of money. I would not suggest doing that if you're unable to pay off your credit card every month or if you think you might fall in that trap. Because at the end of the day, if you fall into that trap, it can be very difficult to get out, which I'm going to lay out in this video exactly how that happens to a lot of people and different ways that people rack up credit card debt and ways to avoid that. So I definitely suggest sticking around to the end of the video to learn all about the statistics of exactly what credit card companies are doing to people in America. And if you find this helpful, definitely give this video a like, comment your experience, and I would definitely love to have you as a subscriber, so press that subscribe button down below. So let's get into the video. All right, so let's first talk about why people use credit cards to begin with. And the first reason is convenience. Especially going into 2021, a lot of people are not carrying as much cash as they used to. So having a credit card or a debit card that you can just swipe at the cash register is super convenient. It makes it easy for you to make purchases you may not have otherwise purchased. Like, for example, if you're at the grocery store or Target or some other store, you might see something on sale that you otherwise weren't expecting to buy that day and just be like, well, it's on sale, so maybe I should just buy it and I'll just put it on my credit card because, you know, I can pay it off anytime. But that's unfortunately where a lot of people get trapped. It's actually estimated that the average person spends about $500 every month that they never planned on spending. And it's partly because of credit cards. You just say, hey, I'll throw it on the credit card and I'll pay it off next month. But then you know what happens next month? The same thing happens over and over. So it becomes a cycle. And it's a vicious cycle of credit card debt. So the next time you're at the store, make sure you think twice before you buy something you weren't planning or you don't need. And the second reason why people use credit cards is because they don't have enough money to last the month for groceries and other basic necessities. So it can be that credit cards are helping people in the short term make it by, but that cannot be a long-term plan for you to keep using your credit card and not being able to pay it off or at least pay it down every month. And that's where budgeting is going to be more important than ever to get out of credit card debt. You have to make sure every penny you're spending, you know where it's going and it's not going places that it shouldn't be going. And the third reason is large purchases. Things like family vacations, going on a trip somewhere, maybe Hawaii or somewhere, buying the latest tech, buying the latest iPhone, buying something that you didn't actually really need at this moment. But a lot of people just say, you know what? I can throw that on the credit card too. Why not? I'll pay it off over the next few months, or I'll pay it off with my tax return money. It's not a big deal. Unfortunately, that's where it becomes a big deal. Things come up. You never know when something is going to go wrong. And in my own experience, things never go the way I plan. And then that's where the interest starts racking up. It makes it more difficult for you to pay down the credit card balance that you thought was going to be a breeze. You know, you might put a $1,000 iPhone on the credit card and then you can't pay it off in the next month or two. So over that year, that $1,000 iPhone, maybe it turns into a $2,000 iPhone just because of all the interest that's been added on. And that's why I said at the beginning of the video, credit cards aren't for everyone. They're only if you're able to be very strict to a budget and pay off your credit card every month. You should never use a credit card unless it's for an absolute emergency. But even that, I would recommend you work on having an emergency fund of cash that you don't have to rely on going into more debt to fund. In America, as of 2020, there's about $900 billion of credit card debt out there. About $8,000 per family. About 47% of Americans have some amount of credit card debt. Of that, about 40% are only able to pay the bare minimum. And as you know, if you have a credit card, paying the bare minimum, it would take many, many years to pay off almost any amount of credit card debt. They want to keep you in debt as long as they can so they can keep collecting interest from you. You're making them billions of dollars every single year, and they don't want that cash to stop. For example, the average household has $8,000 in credit card debt. If you paid only the bare minimum, which would be about $320 per month, it would take you 210 months, which is 17 and a half years, to pay that off. At the end of that, you would have paid about $18,000 in total back, $10,000 being interest. So you would have paid more than double whatever you spent on that credit card for $8,000 over a period of almost 20 years. That's almost as much as having a mortgage on your house. And you also have the stress of having a credit card payment for almost 18 years. So like I said at the beginning of this video, having credit card debt keeps you poor. And let me show you why. If you took only $100 every single month and invested it in a stock IRA, over 17 and a half years, that amount of money would turn into over $44,000 at a bare minimum. Or let's say you put the $320 per month in an IRA. Over 17 and a half years, you would turn that into over $140,000. So that's what I mean when I say having credit card debt is keeping you poor. If you had spent that other money more wisely and just invested it, you would be much better off in 20 years than having just paid off a credit card debt for things you don't even probably own anymore. And that's just a simple example of how much money having credit card debt could be costing you. And another way having credit card debt is affecting you negatively, you may not even know, is when you have high utilization of your credit card usage, that has a huge negative impact on your credit score. So when you try to go get a mortgage or any other kind of loan, you're going to pay a higher interest rate because of your lower credit score. So let's take another example. Maybe you go and try to get a $300,000 mortgage. Because you have a lower score than if you didn't have credit card debt, you could be paying as much or even more than $28,000 over the 30-year period of the loan, just in extra interest. And credit card companies do this on purpose. They purposely go after the people that need to use credit cards the most. For example, credit card companies are more likely to give a higher credit rate if you're using most of your credit versus if you're using none or very little of your credit, because they look at the customer using most of their credit as they're going to use even more if more is available to them, meaning more interest for the credit card company. So credit card companies are all about their bottom line. They really don't care what's best for you. Even though having a higher credit limit in the short run may help you get by, in the long run it's going to keep you in debt for 20 or 30 years, if not longer. I know people that have been in credit card debt all their life, and they're going into retirement with about the same amount of credit card debt that they had when they were 20, 30 years younger. There are also secured credit cards, which are for people that have really bad credit and wouldn't qualify for a regular credit card. These are the subprime mortgage of credit cards. They're literally subprime credit cards. These go after the people with the least amount of money just for profits for the company. So in closing, avoid credit card debt at all costs. Get out of credit card debt if you currently have it. Do anything you can to pay down your credit card and just get rid of that stupid thing. You don't need it. Pay cash for things. Don't buy what you don't need. Just get out of credit card debt. I know when I had credit card debt, I was stressed every single day and it caused negative impacts in all areas of my life. Once I got out of credit card debt, it was like there was a huge burden lifted off my shoulders. And I want that for all of you. So I'll be making videos in the future that go over exactly how to get out of debt if you're already in debt and need help. So I would definitely suggest subscribing so that you see my new videos that I'll be coming out with that may help you in the future in finances. And if you have credit card debt, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your story. I would love to help you out. I would love to talk to you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it has helped you out, and I hope you get out of credit card debt as soon as possible. I did it and you can do it too.